Okay, good morning, everyone. Today's class is preparing your smartphone for travel. I'm going to show you today how you can communicate with your friends and family. We're going to learn about QR codes and digital wallets, everything so you can be up to date when you're using your phone so you can communicate easier and, to contact any like airlines, the hotel, things like that I'm going to show you today. So this class is both for iPhone and Android, so it doesn't matter which smartphone that you have, but it is for a smartphone. So if you only have an iPad, some things that I will say today may not apply for iPads or tablets. It's mostly just a smartphone. So the first thing that I want to talk about are apps that make communication easy while traveling. So some of the apps that I'm going to show you today are specific for iPhone and then both for Android phones as well. And maybe you have actually used some of these apps here on the screen already while you maybe not even traveling, but have used it already just to communicate with your friend or family. But these apps here on the screen are the main apps people use anytime they go and travel out of the States to another country. So the number one app that a lot of people use that you may have already heard of is WhatsApp. And if we go back on the screen here, WhatsApp is the second app that you see here on the screen, the green icon on the left. And what WhatsApp does is actually a free of charge app to make text messages and phone calls. So for example, if you were going to another country like Europe, you could use WhatsApp to call your friend and family members from Europe free of charge. And that's what WhatsApp is really good about that. Even if you have if even if you're not traveling and you have family members that live international, WhatsApp is a big app that people use in other countries as well. So let's say you have other family members that don't live in New York, you can use this one to talk to them. And how is it free of charge? Well, when you use WhatsApp, you're mostly using either Wi-Fi or your phone's internet connection instead of actually using your plan that you pay with Verizon or AT&T or Optimum. So WhatsApp is just using the internet from the cellular towers or just using the Wi-Fi, and that is how it's free of charge. So next time if you're traveling, I suggest using WhatsApp. A lot of people who live internationally use WhatsApp as their main app of communication anyways. Um, if you don't want to use, WhatsApp, another good thing that you could use are location sharing apps. So there are apps now where you can see where exactly your friend or family member is at all times. And this can be used not just for vacation, but for anything, right? Like, for example, parents use these apps with their kids so they can know that they're safe and they're coming home on time. You can use it as well with your friends and family members. And I'm going to go over three of them. So the first one is called Life 360. And if we go back, so I can show you how it looks like. It's the purple one on the screen on the right hand side. And what Life 360 does, it's basically a location sharing app. So if your friend has to download it as well, or your family member has to get it as well. And with the app, you can always see where they are. You'll see if they're driving somewhere else, you'll see if they're in your house, anywhere that they go, you'll have a little icon on the screen on your phone to show them their address. And this could be really good when you are traveling, if you're like going your separate ways and you both want to meet at a specific location. You can use this app to, track them and find the directions to see exactly where they are. And I went over Life 360 because anyone could get Life 360. You don't need to have an iPhone, you don't need to have an Android. It's for all smartphones, and it is free of charge. Another great app, of course, is Google Maps. And Google Maps is also good because both iPhones and Androids can use it. And not only is Google Maps a place that you can share your location with someone, but of course, it's also for directions and maps, right? For anywhere that you want to go to. If you want to know your how long it's going to take by a car, by a bus, by a train, you would use Google Maps. But there's also a great feature where you can share your location with someone. And lastly, the other app is Find My. And if we go back, it's the first icon here on the screen. I'm going to give it a circle. And Find My is only for Apple phones, Apple iPhones. So every Apple iPhone comes with this app called Find My. And Find My is the same thing, a location sharing app. But this one is different because if your friend or family member does not have an iPhone, you can't use this app to find them. So this is a specific app only for Apple phones. So your friend has to have an Apple iPhone, your family member has to have an Apple iPhone. And when you go on that app, you can as well see their location, track them down. You can also use this app in cases of emergencies, if your phone gets stolen or your headphones get lost. Anything that is considered an Apple product, you can use this app. So headphones, AirTags, laptop, tablets, you can use this app to track it down in case you lost it or it's been stolen. Does anybody have any questions on these 4 apps? Okay, so these are really great 4 apps that you would want to try to download before you have a trip. And even if you're not going on a trip, these location sharing apps are really good if you're even just doing like a day trip somewhere. If you just want, if you have like a family member who often like goes out on alone but has health conditions, you can use these apps to make sure that they are coming home safely or traveling safely. Another important thing that is associated with smartphones are portable power bank. Maybe you have heard this before or have used them before, but right, our iPhone or Android phone, the battery does not last forever. So, especially when you're going on vacation or if you know you're going out and you're going to be outside for a long time, these portable power banks are going to come in handy because this is how you can charge your phone on the go. So instead of always having to look for an outlet outside, you can bring one of these in your purse or in your bag and you can charge your phone right away. So it's very, convenient for you if you don't have an outlet nearby. These is usually how they look like. There is a plug that goes into your phone and then into the portable power bank. You do have to charge your portable power bank before you plug it into your phone. So when you do buy a portable power bank, it's going to come with a plug for you to charge it. And you know it's charged because right here on the screen, I'm going to give it a circle. Those dots right there light up a different color to show you if they have full charge. They also come with instructions. Um, I'm also going to show you real quickly that there are tons and tons of these on Amazon, Best Buy, even Target. They have a bunch of different portable power banks. I'll show you them at the ending of the presentation today, so you can see the different prices and how they look like. Of course, on the Apple website, they have some portable power banks that they recommend themselves, but there are a bunch on Amazon that you can look for. They do weigh a bit, so like the bigger the portable power bank, the heavier it's going to be. So this one on the screen is very slim, but there are bigger ones, and the bigger ones are going to be heavier, but they're going to also give your phone more charge. So it really just depends if you really want to bring something really heavy in your purse or bag all day. If not, you could get a slim one. It gives your battery like 4 extra hours of charge, 5 extra hours of charge. It really depends on the power bank that you get and how big it is. So the bigger, the more charge. Does anybody have questions on this? Okay. So another important thing is when you are about to travel, whether that's international or even somewhere in the US, you do want to see what type of data plan that you have, right? So here today, everyone is paying their phone plan, whether that's with Verizon, whether that's Optimum, AT&T, whatever company that you have, you're paying a data plan for internet service, for service to text someone, service to call someone. That is your data plan. So before you do step out of the country, or if you are going long a distance, you do want to check with your mobile carrier to see what exactly is my plan. So you do want to check in with Verizon or AT&T or Optimum so you can know exactly what am I paying. Am I a plan that's I have to pay additional for more text messages, for calling? You need to know that before you're going to go, especially international, right? So for example, me, I have Verizon. If I want to go international and have service in another country and continent, I have to pay an additional $10 a day to have service over there. So I had to check with Verizon to see exactly the deal that they were going to give me. Because when you do go international, your mobile carrier is going to charge you a service fee for using another carrier over there. However, if you don't want to pay, an extra 10 or $20 a day, there are different things that you can do, especially when traveling international. So, for example, Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi is specific to one area. For example, there's Wi-Fi in parks, there's Wi-Fi in libraries, there could be Wi-Fi in the hotel. However, Wi-Fi is not all over throughout. You have to be in a specific place. But when you do connect to Wi-Fi, it is a free depending on where you're going. So sometimes hotels they give you free Wi-Fi to use in the hotel, and then that time you can text your family member, you can call your family member, you can go on the internet using the Wi-Fi network because you're not paying any additional fees. Sometimes hotel services don't also you have to pay for the Wi-Fi. So that's another big thing that you want to check. But once you do connect to this Wi-Fi, just remember that Wi-Fi does not last everywhere that you go. So once you leave your hotel and you go on a bus or a train, you disconnect from the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is specific to where you are. Once you leave that cafe and you're using that cafe's Wi-Fi and you leave, you're no longer connected to the cafe's
I
Wi-Fi.
can
So
see.
just remember that. You don't want to use Wi-Fi. The last thing that I would recommend is using a SIM card. So this is specifically for traveling international. So for example, when you do go to Europe or another country like that, usually they have mobile stores where you can pay for a SIM card. I personally have not done that before, but it is a typical thing that you can do to save some money when you are traveling or traveling frequently. you can use a SIM card, and just make sure you always replace it with the one that's in America. You don't want to keep the other country's SIM card in your phone, or it's not going to work when you come back to the States. Think that the easiest thing would be either just using your Wi-Fi networks. Usually all hotels now come with Wi-Fi access. You can use that. But if you do want to be out and about and always know that you have internet service, you're going to want to get a SIM card, or you want to pay for those international service fees with Verizon, Optimum, AT&T, whoever's your provider. You want to see how much they're going to charge you a day. And I do know that Verizon, it was $10 a day on top of your data plan. So if you're already paying, like, let's say you're paying $40 for a month for your data plan, it's going to be an additional $10 a day with how long you are when you're traveling. Does anybody have any questions on that? And these things also, they get activated right away. So you don't really, like for Verizon, there's no specific button that you have to press on your phone, or you don't have to go to a specific setting on your phone. Once you fly to another country and you start using your internet, or you make a phone call, or you send a text message, that immediately gets activated, and now you are paying the $10 a day. So if you don't want to, if you want to avoid paying any money like that, make sure that when you fly out of the country, you immediately go to a Wi-Fi network, turn on the Wi-Fi, or you just don't use your phone for texting or calling until you get into the hotel and connect to Wi-Fi, because it does activate immediately when it sees you make a phone call or a text message. Any questions on that? Okay. So another big thing that I've been wanting to discuss that is perfect for this class today is digital wallets. Has anyone here heard of digital wallets before? Some, maybe one person or two. Okay, that's good. I think that this is a great time to finally talk about digital wallets because it's becoming so prominent now. Maybe you have already seen it in New York when you go and take a bus or a train. You see people use their phone and they tap on the little screen right before they get on the bus. And how do they do that? Well, they use a digital wallet. So probably here today you may have already seen people use this digital wallet in action. And whether you have an iPhone or if you have a Android phone, Samsung, you can participate in using digital wallets. So if you see here on the screen on the left-hand side, there's a Google Wallet. Google Wallet are for those that have Android phones and Samsung phones. Then we have on the right-hand side of the screen, it just says wallet, but that's Apple Wallet. So if you have an iPhone, you would be using that app. These apps should be already downloaded on your phone, but if not, for some reason, you would have to go to the Google Play Store or the App Store to download it. But if you do have a recent smartphone that's, 5 years old, it should already be on there. However, if your phone is like 10, 20 years old, of course, it's not going to be on your phone. But I would say anybody that has a phone from 2015 and above should be safe and be able to use a digital wallet. So a lot of people think that digital wallets are just, putting sensitive information like a credit card, a debit card in your phone. And digital wallets do much more than just putting credit cards or debit cards. So just like a regular wallet, a digital wallet is going to help keep your money and other things safe. So of course, yes, a main thing that people use digital wallets for is for putting credit card and debit cards in there, right? So you're storing the digital version of your credit or debit card so you can pay for stuff easily without having to go into your wallet and taking out the card. Instead, you could just use your phone and tap when you go shopping or when you go on the bus or when you go on the train. Um, you just use your phone and tap it, and that's how you pay. That's one way you could use a digital wallet. However, the reason why I'm talking about it today is because in digital wallets, you can also put tickets and boarding passes in there. So when you go to the movies, or if you even go to take a trip, like on a plane, like what the class is about today, you can put your boarding passes in your digital wallet. And I actually did that recently, like a few days ago. So why do people do that, right? So a lot of people, when they get their boarding pass, they have to search in their email, right? And then sometimes when you go through your email, there's just so much junk in there that you probably can't even find that email that has your boarding pass. So instead of, having to stress about where's that email, I have to, get my boarding pass, you could put it easily in your digital wallet, and it's going to save it there, so you always know where it is, and it takes like 1 second to get it. And there's a bunch of things you could put in there. You don't have to put boarding pass. You could put tickets for a movie, tickets for a show, a Broadway show, a play. There's a bunch of things that companies are using for digital wallets. So let's say you were going to the zoo, the aquarium, Broadway play, all of those things that you would buy tickets for, you can now put them in a digital wallet instead of having to go crazy or with an email trying to find it. And how digital wallets work is that anytime you want to access your digital wallet, you have to put either a password, your fingerprint, or scan your face to open it. So that's how they make digital wallets secure. So let's say someone takes your phone, they can't just access your credit card and debit card unless they have your fingerprint, your face, right? Because some people use their phone and open their phone with their face, or that special password. Once you give that information, you can access your digital wallet that has all your credit cards, your boarding passes and tickets, things like that. So this makes it very easy when you're about to travel, because you just could take out your phone very quickly, and it does work. I've used it a couple of times now. And yeah, you just show them the phone and they scan your boarding pass just like that. Does anyone have any questions on this? I'm gonna still keep going over it, but I just want to make sure if anyone has any questions right now. Okay, so how do you actually add it to your wallet, right? So maybe you haven't bought a ticket online recently, or maybe you haven't flown or stuff, but how you would add it to an Apple Wallet or a Google Wallet, you would see this on the screen when you purchase something online. So maybe you haven't really purchased anything online just of yet. But when you start to purchase things online, all the way at the bottom of the screen, you will see these buttons that say add to Apple Wallet or add to Google Wallet. So let's say in the future, you have an event coming up that is going to be a ticket that you need, and you're going to buy it online. Try to look for this button at the bottom so you can add it to your wallet. Very easy. However, if you're going on a trip soon, or maybe next summer or anything like that, you will get this at the bottom of your screen if you're buying your flights online or buying a hotel, anything like that. You could add it to your Apple Wallet. And let's say, well, you didn't buy it online, or you did it through the phone, right? Well, if they send you an email, in the email, you should also see this button here. In the email with your tickets, there should be a button that says added to the Apple Wallet. And if we look here on the next screen, this is kind of what it looks like when you start using it. So on the left-hand side of the screen is a digital version of a boarding pass that would look like on your phone when you finally add it to your wallet. So all the people do when you get there is they scan that QR code, which I will also go over soon in the next slides. On the right-hand side is how the wallet looks like if you start adding your credit card and debit cards. People can put a bunch of cards in. Some people prefer only putting one card in. Doesn't really matter how many cards you put in. But this is just kind of the screen of kind of how it looks like. And adding a credit card, right, you do have to put in all the information like the first name, last name, your card number, and it gets entered into the wallet just like this. So the next time you see someone use their phone to pay for the bus or pay for the train, it's because of this. They're using the wallet, and that's really the only way of how they do it with their phones. So same thing, if you have an Android Samsung phone, it's going to look exactly the same here. On the screen here is how it looks like on an iPhone, but they also have Google Wallet is the same exact thing where you can add your debit and credit cards. And I just want everyone to know that if you don't have the app, you do have to go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. If you maybe accidentally deleted it or maybe it just didn't come with your phone, you do have to go to the store to download it on your phone. The Google Play Store is an app on your phone. Just like how you downloaded Zoom, you would have to download these wallets on your phone to add your credit cards. And I think it is very convenient. I use it all the time. For me, how it works is that to access my wallet, I have to double tap on my iPhone button right here. There's a button on my iPhone that's on the side, on the right-hand side of my phone. All I do is I double tap on that button. It scans my face and it opens up to the wallet. I know it sounds like a very crazy kind of futuristic thing, but that's kind of how it works with an iPhone. For Androids, it could work differently. Some people use their fingerprint to open up the wallet. You could use your face for an Android or Samsung. If you don't prefer either of those, you would have to put a password, a special password, in a form of a digit code or a phrase, a word, if you don't prefer putting your face or fingerprint. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about is QR codes. And if you see here on the screen, I'm pretty sure we have all seen these before somewhere. Right here on the left-hand side of the screen, usually you would see a QR code maybe when you're waiting for the bus. I've seen them before. Sometimes you see it now even on the television, like during commercials. You could see a QR code where the commercial tells you to scan the QR code. And more recently, because of the pandemic, you may have seen QR codes when you are at a restaurant. So during the pandemic, uh, people didn't want to, keep reusing the menu because at restaurants they don't really clean the menu. So instead, restaurants started to change their menu into a QR code where you can use your phone to scan this QR code and then you can read the menu right off of your phone. And I still go to restaurants and they still use this practice. They haven't really reverted back to regular menu. So maybe you've been to a restaurant and seen this before and you say, well, I don't know how to scan a QR code. Maybe in the future they'll just get rid of menus altogether. But QR codes are ways to access information, right? So that square that you see on the screen sends you to a website, whether that website is a menu, whether that website is information about a product, whether it's going to send you to the bus time, like when the bus is coming. That's all that QR codes do. It's a way to access information. And if we go back here, if I go back to the previous slide, you can see here on this boarding pass, there's also a QR code, right? So when you get on a airplane and you did this digital boarding pass, the flight attendant scans the QR code to make sure that it's real, right? So just like they would scan the paper one, they scan this QR code on your boarding pass. So there's ways to access, it's a way to access information much easier. So whether you have an iPhone or a Samsung Android phone today, you can all use QR codes to scan information, and you don't actually have to download anything on your phone. The way people scan QR codes is actually by using their camera app. So everyone here today has the camera app, right? We use it to take pictures all the time, but your actual camera app can be used to scan QR codes, both for iPhones and Androids. So you don't have to download anything, it's already here. So you can see on the screen, that's the camera app. For iPhones, it's like a gray icon. And I don't have an active QR code today, but in the future you can use it and you can see that it will work. But I'm going to show you the steps today of how to do it. So if you do have a smartphone, you go to the camera app. And the trick is that when you go into the camera app, you want to make sure that the QR code is in the middle of your screen, right? You don't want to be pointing at a corner of the QR code. You don't want a person in the background to be seen. You want just the QR code to be front and center, just like in this picture. So in this picture, the person is holding their phone and pointing it straight at the QR code, and the QR code is right in the middle. There's nothing around it. There's no objects behind it. It's not slanted. The camera's not crooked. It's pointing at the QR code. That's all you have to do. Point it at the QR code. Once you point your camera at the QR code, all the way at the bottom will appear a website link to send you to that menu, to send you to information about the bus, the train, event details, anything about why you needed to scan that QR code. It will send you to it with a link right at the bottom. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you look at the picture of the QR code on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a red arrow at the bottom. That's the link that I'm talking about. And you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to take a picture of it. All you're doing is just pointing the camera at the QR code, and at the bottom, a link will appear. This is just a picture, right? If you're using your phone right now to scan that, it's not gonna work. It's not an active QR code. This is just an example. But the next time when you see a QR code, I want you to open up your camera, point it at the screen. Don't take a picture of it, just point at it. And at the bottom, the link will appear to send you to the menu of the restaurant or whatever you're going to use the QR code for. Does anybody have any questions on that? On QR codes? Okay, so so now that we're at the end, I'm gonna just show you different things about the wallet and the portable power banks. So like I said earlier today, if you know you're going on a trip or even going outside for a long period of time where you know you can't charge your phone, there are power portable banks that you can use to charge your phone, that you can put it in your purse or in your bag, and you can keep it so then you can charge it just like that. So two companies that I recommend are Belkin and Anchor, what you see right here on the screen. Anchor and Belkin. Those are two trusted companies that Apple trusts and Samsung trust, and that can work good with your phone. That's not going to mess up your battery. Because portable power banks, there are a bunch of different companies that do it. And like I said before, what they do is just they give you extra charge, right? So if your phone is dying and you're out and about and you can't find the outlet, you just plug this into your phone and it gives you an extra charge, about 4 to 5 hours of battery life, which is pretty good. But hold on. Let me just put. You can see if I go down, there's a bunch of them, all different sizes. And the bigger of the ones are going to be heavier, like I said. So you want to make sure you're not getting anything too big, because it may bring your or heavy your purse or your bag, things like that. The ones that are like small like this are pretty good because they're very light, but there are a bunch of them. Even Apple today, let's say you don't want to get any of those. Apple itself has one called Apple MagSafe, which is a little pricier. And this is the official one from Apple. Let's say if you want to just stick with only Apple devices. And these little squares that you see right here, they attach to the back of your phone. It's like a magnet almost. And they're called Apple MagSafe if you prefer to use products only by Apple. Any questions on that? Okay, so that portable batteries that you would want to use in your next trip. And another thing I want to go over is quickly the wallet, right? So, like I said, your Apple Wallet can do a bunch of things. Just like I said here, it can do boarding passes. You can use it to tap on your ride. So you may have seen this symbol here before if you've been outside, like in the train or the buses. This is usually the symbol. And this is the symbol when you can easily tap your phone. Or even in shopping. I don't know if you've been recently to the mall or so where people actually use their phone to tap and pay. You can do that as well. Even in the local Rite Aid here on K-Park, you can use your phone to tap to pay for stuff. So if you accidentally forgot your wallet at home, but you remembered you put your card in your phone, you can just pay with your phone. So yeah, you could put your boarding passes. Let's say you were going to a theme park or tickets like so. You could put your tickets there. Movies and live events. So if you were going to a concert, a Broadway play, you can put that into your phone. Um, and you can put like the hotel rooms. You can see here, you can even check in right on your phone. Car keys if you drive. There's a bunch of things that you could put now in your digital wallet. If we just go up, a new thing that they're going to start doing is driver license and state ID. However, New York still hasn't done this yet. It's only select states. But in the future, you may see you could put your driver's license in your phone. So a lot of things are just now becoming digital. So just look out for that. But now you know you can use your wallet for it when it does come out.